Where were you when the events happened?
In New York. It was in Manhattan.
Oh, my. Were you working?
It was supposed to work, and it was obviously interrupted.
I cannot picture what it is like there now.
It's really difficult to, I think, for most people to get their minds around something of that magnitude.
Bruce told our Leonard Maltin that by promoting his new film Bandits, he's continuing on with life.
It's always been about diversion. It's my job and everyone else's job in Hollywood to be entertaining. I'm proud to be an entertainer.
In Las Vegas, large crowds turned out at the MGM Grand Hotel to see Jay Leno's free show to help stimulate the local economy.
I'm just trying to get people to drive here, have a good time, there's no charge. Just tip your waiters and waitresses, because obviously when business is bad, the first people to get laid off are the service people.
Also in Las Vegas, Andre Agassi packed the MGM Grand Arena with friends Elton John, Tim McGraw, and Robin Williams. They raised $4.2 million for Andre's charitable foundation. Andre bought this 22-carat diamond Victorian Cartier necklace at the charity auction for $155,000 and gave it to his 6-month pregnant fiancée, Steffi Graf. But he told us the two have not yet set a date.
We haven't made any plans, you know. It's just a lot going on right now, and we both wish we were married already.
During the show, nearly every artist acknowledged the September 11th tragedy.
I wasn't planning to do this. I'm going to do a song about New York right now. One more leave, and matter happens, something bangers, something lawyers.
Robin Williams and Don Henley kept spirits up even though security was on everyone's mind.
Now with the new tighter security, I had a 40-minute cavity search, and then I got on the plane.
In Worcester, Massachusetts, Michael J. Fox scored a goal at Dennis Leary's star-studded charity hockey game, which raised $800,000 for the Worcester firefighters and for New York's bravest.
I have a friend who's a firefighter who lost 60 guys. I have a friend who's a cop, he lost 30 guys.
It's astonishing how sort of heartfelt everyone's sort of feelings are here.
Rosie O'Donnell has donated another $1 million to the relief effort, and ET has learned exclusively that Eddie Murphy has given $1 million to be divided among 2 New York relief charities.
We're starry-eyed and laughing. I recall when we were caught.
In Asbury Park, New Jersey, John Bon Jovi took to the stage of the famed Stone Pony to raise money for families of New York's emergency workers.
To be here to support them and their families in this time of need, it's the least I can do.
Live from New York, it's Saturday night!
Mayor Rudolph Giuliani kicked off SNL's season premiere surrounded by the city's firefighters and police.
I'm in a New York state of mind.
And Billy Joel, who performed at the All-Star Telethon, has a new album, Fantasies and Delusions. He told ET today he was honored to do his part in raising over $150 million.
I went right down to ground zero after I played the song. They were thanking me for doing what we did on the telethon.
And more people started going back to the movies this weekend. Michael Douglas's thriller Don't Say a Word was #1, earning an estimated $18 million. Ben Stiller's comedy Zoolander took the 2nd spot, and Hearts in Atlantis was 3rd.
Coming up on Entertainment.
Time star whose plane was escorted down last week tells us what should be done to increase security right now. Plus, Dan Rather's first interview since his emotional appearance with David Letterman.
I'm not a robot, and I don't want to be.
Board airplanes and to reduce the public's fear of flying. We have the footage of what's being done and how it could help passengers like daytime TV star Eric Braeden.
Police, don't move! Put your hands on top of your head! Police, don't move!
E.T. obtained this video of U.S. Air Marshals training at an FAA facility in New Jersey, demonstrating the kind of no-nonsense security the Young and the Restless star wants to see aboard all American planes. Braeden was flying to Toronto last week when he found himself in the middle of an airborne terror scare.
Some were very frightened, some were scared, others were cool. Some of the kids picked up the tension and started crying.
The trouble started when a rowdy passenger allegedly made an anti-American threat. F-16 fighter jets escorted the Air Canada flight back to L.A., where the passenger was arrested. After the incident, Eric spoke exclusively to E.T. on the need to get serious about airport security.
They should have sniffing dogs all over the damn place, all the time, 24 hours a day. You should have people at the gate who watch, people with a trained eye. And then you should have one or two people on the plane whose job it is to take care of situations like this.
This training video was shot last week showing efforts to make the skies over America safer. But Braden believes that until there are armed U.S. Marshals on every flight, it will be up to passengers to protect themselves.
If any guy opens his mouth on an airplane from now on, I think there are a number of men who are ready to go after them.
And safety fears have forced Janet Jackson to cancel her 16-city European tour. The pop singer issued a statement today saying, quote, "If anything happened to anyone on this tour, I could never forgive myself."
Next in the ET Insider.
Get the scoop on Ray Romano's live concert at New York's Carnegie Hall. Talk of the tragedy had Dan Rather in tears on David Letterman. Now he defends his emotion to E.T.
I feel a heavy sense of loss.
And what made the newsman well up again? Emotion. CBS Evening News anchorman Dan Rather has shown that he is overwhelmed by the attacks on America. Tonight, Rather reveals just how deep his feelings go in the ET interview with Jan Carl.
There's a deep rage and anger. I think seething would not be too strong a word to describe it.
Have you ever felt this before?
Never to this degree. But on the other hand, I've never lived through anything like this. And neither has any other American.
CBS News World Headquarters in New York.
It has been difficult for the veteran journalist to fight back the tears. A week after the attacks, he broke down on The Late Show with David Letterman.
See those firemen? Take his birthday, will you?
Okay, I'll tell you what.
Well, I can finish.
No, Dan, take care of yourself. We'll be right back here with Dan Rather.
Do you have any regrets for crying on the Letterman show?
No, I did at the time. I mean, I tried not to do it.
You could tell you were trying not to.
And frankly, I feel a little awkward talking about it. But regrets, no. Apologies, no. I'm not a robot, and I don't want to be.
What was it about that night, that moment, that became your breaking point?
Some of it had to be the enormity of the loss. But I do feel, and I'm not alone, I know that. I feel a heavy sense of loss. And for that, no one should apologize. But this is not about me. This is about the dead, the missing, the wounded, their families, and what we're going to do about it.
Still feeling the pain of the horrifying attacks, Dan says it's time for every American to rally around the president.
I know it may sound corny, but I feel it. You know, if he needs me in uniform, tell me when and where. I'm there.
I'm standing on the border between Pakistan and Afghanistan.
In April of 1980, Dan snuck inside Afghanistan to cover their war with the Soviet Union. There was more than one close call.
That round hit the ridge just below us.
Will you go back and report from there again?
Frankly, I'd love to go to Afghanistan this second. I'm not sure that that'll happen.
Do you think America is up for the fight, for the long haul?
Absolutely. We are a peaceful people, but our record also shows that when called upon to be, that we are also a great warrior nation. And that we have to be restrained in what we say in that regard, because we don't want anybody in the world to misunderstand.
Dan told me that he was so impacted by the sight of Ground Zero, he still hasn't found the right words to describe it. On Thursday, I'll be back with an ET interview with Tom Cruise. We sat down together this morning for the first time in nearly a year and a half. He talks about his new movie, Vanilla Sky, and working with Penelope Cruz. That's Thursday. Mary, Bob.
Thanks a lot, Jan.
Thank you, Jan.
The last of 4